Welcome to Florida Focus, a college football podcast. My name is Brandon, and I'm a lifetime Florida State Seminole fan.
And I am Chris. I am a massive Florida Gator fan.
And we are put aside our differences as rivals to bring you the fantastic world of college football throughout the Sunshine State. As promised, Chris, we have come to our Fave 5, number 8 jersey wearers. So,
what? Jersey wearers? That's what you decided with?
Is that... Did I get it? Am I close?
I don't know. Maybe... Oh, we'll go with jersey wearers. Because I really don't have anything better. So, okay. Jersey wearers it is.
Players that wore number 8. More generic.
No, let's stick with jersey wearers.
Jersey wearers. Okay, that works for me.
Yeah. As
you may recall, Chris and I back in episode 44 talked about the AAF, and the Alliance of American Football was announced in 2018. There were 8 teams, and the season lasted 8 weeks. So that was our inspiration for making our Fave 5 here.
I know. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. We are so smart, man.
I know, right?
Pat ourselves on the back. All right. Well, let's get started. Our top 5. I will stick to the true format that we've always had, Chris, with these, and I'm so excited to dive back in. Let you go first with your 5 and my 5. All right, Chris. Whenever you're ready, your number 5 jersey wearer of the number 8.
Jersey wearer of. Perfect. So my list, number 1, I think it's probably going to be a lot of people's number 1. Number 5 is, I think, solid. But 2 through 4, it just kept switching back and forth. And there's going to be one surprise one in there, too. Okay. I'm going to throw a wrinkle in there. We haven't discussed the parameters too much, but I'm making them up as we go, so we'll just come along with me on this journey. I'm
here.
All right, so number 8, wide receiver Chad Jackson.
Oh,
he played in the Zook era. One of the bright spots on the offense in the Zook era, outside of Chris Leak, 2003 through 2005.
Okay.
I believe he got drafted by the Patriots, maybe second round. Pretty decent receiver, more of a possession receiver. He had that deep threat ability, but it was more of the possession receiver. He had 16 receiving touchdowns and ran for 2 and 1,500 yards receiving in his career. Pretty solid career. And like I said, he went a year early to the Patriots. And with Zook, you had Leak and you had Cedric Faison. But really, as far as receivers that he had, not spillover from the Spurrier era, Chad Jackson was a guy that really stuck out. And I think he played 1 year under Meyer as well, Meyer's first year. So he was that guy that kind of bridged the gap between Zook and Meyer. And he had a solid career. Always liked him. I thought he was going to do more going into the pros, but yeah, he's my number 5, Chad Jackson.
Jackson, okay. Great choice. And thanks for explaining the reasoning why in the years. Being a Knoll fan, I'm not as familiar with him, to be honest, but that's probably to be expected.
Right. I mean, the most famous thing is probably when they had a Bobby Bowden Field and he scored a touchdown for the Gators to win that game, but it's probably why you don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Remember that one.
any chance to take that jab? That was well played. Nice. I'm not even
you
mad. I'm just impressed.
You open the door. I'm just gonna step through it.
Makes sense. All right, I'm gonna jump to my number 5 for the Knolls. Yeah. And real quickly, you said your number 8 pick. We all knew you meant number 5, of course.
Yes. Okay.
It's hard. We're gonna confuse the two. I'm certain of it.
I'm probably gonna make that mistake several more times.
I'm certain I will. So my number 5 pick, it was Taiwan Easterling. He was a wide receiver from 2008 to 2010. So he was one of the players that saw the transition from Bobby Bowden to Jimbo Fisher.
Okay.
And he had some pretty good catches here and there. He had 108 catches in his career, about 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he had a pretty good, I would say, also kind of a possession receiver, but had some speed. So sometimes he can get you yards after catch.
Okay.
So he played in some big games. In 2008, we played Georgia Tech. He had some moments there. 2009, the offense was really, really hot with Christian Ponder, and we would score a lot of points, and he was certainly a part of that. He actually played 3 years and decided, even with 1 year of eligibility left, to leave and play baseball.
Oh, okay.
So I think he ended up in the minor leagues of some teams for a little bit, but it never really caught on. But a lot of times those scouts see speed, you can steal bases, you can run the outfield, and that's all that really matters to them.
Right.
So I don't know that he would have done much in 2011. That was kind of a interesting year as it is. But that was my he wore number 8, so he was my number 5 pick.
Okay. Easterling, I like that.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, my number 4 pick, Carlos Dunlap, defensive end. I played 07 through 09, won a couple of SEC championships, a national championship. That 08 defense was just nasty, and he was an anchor on the D line there. And he's one of those guys that all football players look big, and especially put the cleats and the pads on. But I remember going to a practice, and this guy was he was a monster. He was and he looked like an offensive lineman, but he played D end. And
wow.
He was fast, and just his wingspan, and he wasn't as lean and maybe fit as Javon Curse, but that kind of what he reminded me of, just a man among boys. And he had a pretty good career at Florida, and 19 and a half total sacks in 3 years, and he got drafted by the Bengals in the second round, and he's having a pretty good career still. Really consistent starter for them. But yeah, he was a crucial part in that 08 defense. One thing though that in 09, this kills me. It was the night before, I believe, or the night before the SEC championship game versus Alabama, and he got arrested because at 2, 3 in the morning, he fell asleep behind the wheel at a red light. And I don't know if he got arrested, but he had to miss the game. He had to miss the SEC championship game. And I don't know if just one player on defense is going to ruin the game for you, because that 09 Alabama team was really good. But I just remember we had a lot of momentum going, and it just kind of sucked the wind out of the team,
Okay.
And 2, what are you doing out at 3 a.m.? Nothing good happens after midnight.
Right.
Nothing. So just aggravating. But that aside, still a great player for the Gators and had a great career, and is still having a pretty good career in the NFL.
Okay. Yeah, certainly familiar with him. I didn't remember the SEC championship game, but he certainly was a force. And it's good to see he has success. Even 10 years later, he's still playing well. So good for him.
Yep.
Great choice, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to my number 4.
Yeah.
This would be a wide receiver / kick returner, and his name is Kermit Whitfield. Kermit's not his given name. I forget what it actually is. It's a nickname he's had forever.
I wanted to do a Kermit the Frog impression, but I also wanted to keep the listeners. So
yeah, I don't want.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, from Orlando actually, and he did a lot of things. Actually, he was a decent wide receiver, but kick returning was his specialty, and his claim to fame, and the reason he will be remembered for forever as a Seminole, is the 2013 national championship game against Auburn. Auburn takes their first lead for a while, and this is mid-fourth quarter. They kick off to the Noles, and he catches it, and he houses it. He returns it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown to reclaim the lead. So, without that special teams score, I don't think the Noles win that game, to be completely honest.
Right.
So, actually, you would think that was enough. Hey, man, that's what he did as a freshman. That was his freshman season. But actually, over the span of his career as a college returner, he actually ended up in the top 10 overall average return yards in college football history.
Okay.
So I had no idea that he actually did that much until I did a little research. And like I said, decent receiver. He was drafted by the Bengals. He only had about 650 yards of receptions in his entire career, which was 2013 to 2016. So I don't know that he's kind of done practice squad and stuff like that. So the NFL career didn't really pan out. He's kind of small, but he's a good returner. So that's my number 4, Kermit Whitfield.
Kermit, all right. Nice. All right, my number 3 is it's an interesting one because he only played 1 year wearing number 8. Then he switched to number 1. But I'm going off that 1 year.
Okay.
And this is Percy Harvin.
Oh.
Freshman year wore number 8 in 2006 and helped the Gators to a national championship. That year, he had 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns. One of them, in notable ones, were FSU that a run against in the Arkansas against the SEC in the SEC championship game, and in the national championship game as well. He played big towards the end of the year, but he was a key piece in our championship run, I said, towards the end of the year. But he also scored a touchdown reception earlier in the year against UCF. I think it might have been his first touchdown as a Gator. It was a screen pass. I remember it to this day, a screen pass across the middle, and he took it like 70 yards.
Wow.
For a touchdown. And I was like, this guy's pretty good. He was fast. So that's why he's on the list, but not like 1 or 2, because I'm only going by his freshman year when he wore number 8 before he switched to.
Okay.
Yeah, see, we didn't talk about these rules, but I'm going with them right now. So, so there you go.
Okay.
He almost had 1,000 yards receiving that year, and about 400 yards rushing, but 5 total touchdowns and some key ones later in the year.
Wow. Okay. Your criteria is going to come back, and I can't really say right now why that is, but I'm glad you defined he wore number 8 for 1 season. Okay.
Right. And I'm only going by that 1 season.
Okay.
Because obviously he would be higher on the list. Just the whole career.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you clarified, because I was like 3? Okay, no way. But I also don't know what other Gators were number 8, so we'll see what that leaves in store for us.
One's an obvious one, and one's it's debatable. I'll give you that. It's debatable. And like I said, I went back and forth 2 through 4, so
okay.
You'll see when we get there.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So let me give mine so we can keep moving so I can find out.
Yeah.
My number 3 pick for guy who won number 8 is Timmy Jernigan.
Okay.
He was a defensive tackle from 2011 to 2013 from Lake City, Florida. This guy brought back the 1980s midriff. He refused to wear anything that covered his abs or his /belly.
Midrifting.
Yes. So another defensive tackle. I'm surprised that so many defensive linemen like Carlos Dunlap wore a single-digit number. So Timmy Jernigan was a vital piece in the 2013 national championship. The defense that year was very suffocating, and he actually was injured a little bit in the title game itself, so he had to come out for a while, and that was making me nervous. Not that I wasn't nervous watching that entire game, but that didn't help. So over a career, 28.5 tackles for loss, and he ended up being a second-round draft pick. So he was quite the force to be reckoned with, and he got in the backfield a lot, which Florida State produces a lot of, but he came on at the right time and had the right size to complement the already great defense we had. So, Timmy Jernigan.
He was a good player.
Yeah.
He was a really good player. I mean, talented. All right. My number 2, number 8 jersey wearer, is Trey Burton.
Oh,
and this guy is a Swiss Army knife of a player. He lined up quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end. I think I saw him doing water boy duties one game. Like, he did everything. did everything for the Gators. Played 4 years during the unfortunate Muschamp era. Yeah. And he, I think, scored like 20 total touchdowns. And he did everything. I think it was Kentucky, either 5 or 6 touchdowns in a game, just total. Most of it out of the Wildcat. He was a Wildcat quarterback, and then we know that we had a bunch of quarterback woes and injuries during that time where he had to be the quarterback. He did everything, though, for us. He was a bright spot in a dark time, and he plays for, I don't know who he plays for now, but he was with Philadelphia as a tight end. And he was the guy who threw the ball during the Philly special in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But he was a great player for us, and hard worker, did a lot of good things for us. Very versatile, one of the most versatile players ever to play at Florida. He had 16 rushing touchdowns and 4 receiving touchdowns. And, so that's why he, as a career, that's why he's number 2 for me.
Okay. Great choice. And Swiss Army knife, that is a perfect explanation. Yeah. He's still doing that, even in the NFL. He's like,
right.
Go gadget, tight end. You need a fullback on this play? You need me to throw?
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes sense that the 4th and goal that the Eagles ran or any like 2-point conversion situation, he's a perfect guy to have on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So
great choice.
Yeah, thank you. I liked seeing him play. I really did.
Trey Burton. All right, so we'll move on to my number 2, and this is a guy that everybody will know right away, especially NFL fans for the Falcons, and that is Devontae Freeman.
Yeah.
Number 8. He was a running back for 3 years, from 2011 to 2013, same years as Timmy Jernigan. Mm-hmm. He was his 2011 season. He started off a little bit slow, almost 600 yards rushing, 8 TDs. The next year he had 660 yards, 8 TDs. And in our title run in 2013, even with a shared backfield with Carlos Williams, 1,000 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns, and he had 22 catches to top it off. Mm-hmm. He was, and this was an ongoing question for Noel fans. You're like, we had work done. This is a guy that ran for 1,000 yards in a season. Year after year, guys just couldn't get it done. Are we ever going to have a 1,000-yard rusher again? Devontae Freeman was the first guy to do it after 1996. So we went a very long time without a 1,000-yard rusher. Right. So he actually decided to skip his senior season. Again, good decision for running backs to do. So he was drafted in 2014, and obviously he's one of the other key pieces as to why FSU won the title.
Right. Yeah, he was a good one. I didn't know if he was going to translate as well as he did to the NFL.
I was actually thinking he wouldn't.
Yeah, me too. I was surprised. Yeah, very good. I didn't realize he had 2 number 8s during that 13 season.
Yeah,
that were
one offense on one defense. Yeah, how about that?
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, I can't wait, Chris. You got number 1.
All right,
who is
number 1? This is an easy one, and this is Rex Grossman, quarterback for the Gators. Played 2000, 2001, and 2002. And most notable is in 2001, came second in the Heisman voting.
Right.
And he got robbed. Ask any Gator fan.
This again. Every time Rex Grossman's brought
because they weren't at the time. He was a sophomore. Like, sophomores can't win the Heisman.
Right.
Now it's no big deal. But dude had 34 passing touchdowns in 2001. And 77 total, but 34 in almost 4,000 yards passing that year. But he was fun to watch. He kind of had that Brett Favre gunslinger mentality. Kind of got him in some trouble every now and then. But he had a cannon and was not afraid to chuck it. His career speaks for itself. One of the better Gators, better quarterbacks ever to play for Florida.
Yeah, he was not fun to play against. We had Chris Fix at the time, and you're like, oh, well, I know who's the better quarterback going to this one. Yikes. Chris Fix had a decent senior season. That's all I can say about that. So, was it Eric Crouch that won the Heisman instead of him? Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. They did go to the national title that year, but they got destroyed by Miami, but whatever. So, he was very prolific. So, great choice. And what a great name, Rex, you know?
I know. Very
Grossman,
cool.
It just doesn't get better.
Yeah. The last name's not the best name, but the first name makes up for it. So.
Yep.
You're good.
Great choice. Okay.
Let's see what yours is now.
So my number one is a corner. That is Jalen Ramsey. Corner for, I believe, Jacksonville. I think he's still there.
Yeah, he is.
So I played with the rules a little bit. I did not go by the same standard you did.
Oh.
He wore a different number his freshman season, which was number 13.
Okay.
Because in 2013, number 8 was taken by Timmy Jernigan.
Okay.
After that, he then wore number 8 for his next 2 years at Florida State.
Okay.
So,
for those 2 years that you are going by, or the whole?
Well, I was like, he wore number 8 at one point, but his number 8 years were much better. I'll give you the numbers here. I'll show you. We can compare.
Yeah.
2013 when he wore number 13, 49 tackles, 1 pick, 1 sack.
Okay.
The 2 years when he switched to number 8, the first year, 80 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 12 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles. Next season, 52 tackles, 1 sack, 9 passes defended, and a fumble recovery. So he clearly got better as time went on.
Yeah, I think it counts. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Now, here's an extra caveat. He actually wore 3 different numbers.
Oh.
So he wore number 8 for his last 2 seasons. He wore number 13 as a freshman. He was actually on kickoff returns. And for special teams, he had to wear a different number for that. He actually wore number 17. So I remember they actually would practice this. They had to take off his helmet on the sideline, go pull on the number 17 jersey for kickoffs, and then after that, the transition was from defense to special teams. They would have to practice putting it on and practice taking it off.
That's not easy.
No.
To do it fast.
And you got pads on, you got time limits. So that was fun. The other interesting thing is number 17, Noel fans will know, that was Charlie Ward's number, which has been retired. So he had to ask him permission.
Oh.
And Charlie Ward said that is okay.
Wow.
So
did he have his name on the back of the 17 as well?
I don't think they did that. I don't recall.
That's interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yep. But Jalen Ramsey is arguably the best corner in the NFL over the last 3 years. So that's why he's my number one.
Okay.
Great talent.
He's up there on the list of DBs for sure.
Yes.
Sure.
All right. That was a great list. That was a fun list going down memory lane. Let me know who your honorable mentions were, though. I'm curious.
Not really many. We have Trayvon Grimes is currently a wide receiver. Okay. He has it. Nick Washington was a DB, which I didn't really care for him too much recently. But I guess the only notable name is Don Gaffney, Jabbar Gaffney's dad.
Oh.
Played QB back in the 70s. But that's really the only one that really stands out.
Well, you dug deep on that one. Yeah,
I tried.
True. I tried. You enormous Gator fan to pick that trivia up. Good job.
That's right.
Yeah.
We switch it up.
Yeah. So for the Noles, I had one honorable mention, and that was Bryant McFadden. He was a good corner that played from 01 to 04. So that was during the forgettable Jeff Bowden offensive coordinator years, but he actually played on defense for Mickey Andrews, and so he was a good talent. Other names weren't really anybody people would really know. Corey Sawyer, a D-back in the early 90s. Terry Anthony, a guy in the mid-80s, and then Cleveland Thomas, 96 to 2000. All of those guys played defensive back, except for Anthony, who was wide receiver. But Bryant McFadden was really the only one that stood out.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you just want to go down the list real quick, just to recap?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Number 5, Chad Jackson. Number 4, Carlos Dunlap. Number 3, Percy Harvin, freshman year. Number 2, Trey Burton. And number 1, of course, Rex Grossman, the should-be Heisman winner of 2001.
Hey. My top 5 again. Number 8, Jersey wearers. Number 5, Taiwan Easterling. Number 4, Kermit Whitfield. Number 3, Timmy Jernigan. Number 2, Devontae Freeman. And number 1, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. All right, that's fun, man.
It was, yeah. You got to see all these players. A lot of mine were recent. It was good. I think most of those, even for you, go back maybe to the early 2000s, and that's
right
about the sweet spot.
Right.
Excellent. Well, we put our list together. We had our own criteria. I'm sure the fans are saying, "Oh my gosh, how could you put Percy Harvin number 3? You should count him for the whole year." Or everybody's like, "Oh, Jalen Ramsey only wore 2 out of 3 years, so that shouldn't count." If they want to give us that feedback, Chris, how can they reach out to us?
Yes, please. Hit us up and find us, FloridaFocusPodcast.com. Facebook and YouTube, Florida Focus Podcast. Twitter, @FloridaFocusPod. Please feel free to email us, FloridaFocusPodcast@yahoo.com. Instagram, FLFocusPod. And, of course, our Patreon account.
Yes. And again, as a reminder, new logo. So
yes.
Send your feedback that way. But if you see a green outline of the state of Florida, that's us still. Just all the same great content you're used to, and it's a new look.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate any feedback. All the avenues that Chris mentioned. A review would be good. If we're doing great, tell us why. If not, tell us what opportunities we have and how we can improve. But this is Brandon saying go Noles.
Go Gators.